Hey, what is up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. I'm sitting here at my kitchen table. I'm actually paying some bills, and I got to a point where I was bored. And I said, hey, I promised everybody that I was going to make some wrestling videos. And I was not able to do those. I kept pushing them off. But I'm sitting here. I'm I think it's ready. I'm getting my cup of coffee right now. And, everybody in the world right now is ablaze over the fact that Jinder Mahal is the #1 contender to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship over on SmackDown. And I can honestly say that it makes me smile knowing that me and Ravi had this sort of rivalry over being, fans of wrestlers that just honestly were not over the past few years. I took my jabs at Ravi when Jinder Mahal was released, when they broke up three-man band a few years ago. But Swagger never really did anything other than, made the jump from Raw to SmackDown. And as of right now, you can sort of look at the superstar shakeup that they did with Raw and SmackDown and sort of realize that the truth is out there that Monday Night Raw is the A show. And it doesn't matter where you are on the card on Monday Night Raw, you are always going to be more important than anyone and anything that is going on SmackDown. I mean, I think it's pretty cool that AJ Styles stayed on SmackDown. The guy had an awesome year. He definitely was able to prove to WWE that he was the competitor that people did not think he was. And he's even better than most people thought he was going to. And in WWE, he's been able to blow people away, having some of the best matches that they've had. It doesn't make a lot of sense that he's going to be going after the United States Championship, especially with AJ being a heel, going up against Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens being a heel, but they obviously have something in mind. They didn't play off on the fact that Daniel Bryan fired him. It is what it is. But out of the middle of nowhere, did they have a six-pack challenge on SmackDown? And that's how Jinder won it. But Jinder Mahal comes off being a nobody on SmackDown, or on Raw, gets moved to SmackDown, and now is the #1 contender to go after the championship. The last time I can remember Jinder Mahal winning a match, it honestly was on Monday Night Raw, beating Jack Swagger, before Swagger decided that his contract had lapsed with Monday Night Raw, and he jumped ship, becoming the first free agent to join SmackDown. He showed up on SmackDown, created a buzz, got into a feud with Baron Corbin, did the job to Baron Corbin at No Mercy last year, and was never seen from again. Never. Now with the superstar shakeup, you've got, the Rising Stars, whatever their names are, Epico and Primo. They jumped from Monday Night Raw, where it seemed like they never won a match. They come over to SmackDown, they beat American Alpha. Jinder Mahal comes over, never winning a match on Monday Night Raw. He becomes the #1 contender. I can't really think of anything else where they really just made people from here to here in the matter of nowhere. I can't remember the last time that Epico and Primo meant anything in WWE since their debut of being the El Matadors, where they won their first match. Then they seemed like they lost matches for an entire year. Out of the middle of nowhere, the week of WrestleMania 30, they win a match on Raw to be added into the pre-show four-corner elimination tag match deal, whatever it was. It's a weird place right now. I remember last year during the summer when they were getting ready to do the Raw draft and split up Raw and SmackDown, saying that this was going to bring more opportunity to a lot of guys that we don't get to see a lot because it's not going to be the same guys wrestling each week on both shows, hogging up the airwaves, and people are going to be able to move it up. The thing that doesn't make any sense to me about this whole Jinder Mahal push is that, you see guys like Drew McIntyre. He just got picked up. he got released from WWE, and he took it as a real big surprise. He thought that he was going to be a big star. He thought that he was going to be able to have opportunity to really blow people away, and never really got that. He left. He went to Evolve. Right out of the bat, became the Evolve champion. He wrestled a lot of indies. He started wrestling over in the UK. He even went to Impact. Became Drew Galloway. Was their champion. Was a main guy on their shows, going up against Bobby Lashley and others, and really proved that he had something left. He just got picked up. He just got brought back and is now a part of NXT. Jinder Mahal, I never heard his name one time. From the day of his release, we saw him at WrestleCon, WrestleMania 32 weekend. I didn't hear of him wrestling on any of those shows. I didn't hear him wrestling on any big independents. I didn't even hear about him going to TNA. So why did WWE want to bring this guy back? What was he doing that whole time? That's what doesn't make any sense to me, is that you got guys that get released from WWE, they go out and they really prove their way to show that they deserve to be there and they want to be back. Jinder didn't do anything. He just came back, 3 times his size, all muscled up like he's freaking doing roids or whatever he is, and he's the new number 1 contender. I know that there's the thing out there that maybe this push was considered for Rusev, but due to the problem that Rusev is injured with his shoulder injury, they really didn't have anybody else to give this spot to. And you got to have a World Heavyweight Championship match on a pay-per-view, even if it's not going to be the main event, because you got to be pushing that belt on the show. I don't know. I'm just confused. For one, I don't understand why Randy Orton has a match on the Monday Night Raw pay-per-view when it's considered 2 separate brands. But I guess Orton is going to be defending the championship against Bray Wyatt in the House of Horrors match. Still love that. It makes me smile every time I say it. But the House of Horrors, which was actually funny because if you listen to the Edge and Christian show, which is co-hosted by Luke Cara himself, they talk about the fact that this is a match that Doc Hendricks pitched years ago, back during the Hardys versus Edge and Christian, during the whole Brood thing, where they'd be running through a carnival house of mirrors and having trap doors, and instead of being a wrestling match, it would have been more like a movie on a pay-per-view. And since then, the Hardys have blown it up with the whole deletion thing over on TNA Impact, and I don't know if maybe their WWE is trying to bring some of that to WWE, seeing that it was a real big deal for Impact, and it'd be a real good way to play off of Bray Wyatt. If you go back to those 90s matches, the matches weren't great, but those boiler room brawls between Undertaker and Mankind, Big Show and Mankind, they were fun. One of them was just a real all-out fight. The other one seemed like they were trying to play off of the Blair Witch Project, really having a horrific, blood-spilling ordeal backstage. And they even did that one boiler room brawl on SmackDown with Mankind, where they had all the DX guys. I think they were dressed as Santa Claus. I haven't seen that in a while, but hopefully that's on that holiday Christmas DVD that WWE made that I was going to review this year for Christmas, but I forgot about it. But it's sitting there on the shelf, hosted by Mick Foley and his daughter. But I mean, this sucks. This is stupid. I'm glad for Ravi. I don't think Jinder has a chance in hell to win this match. I don't think that he's going to be champion. I think that honestly, the guy that they're heating up for SmackDown is going to be Baron Corbin. I don't know what Baron Corbin's going to be doing on this pay-per-view, but I'm sure that he's going to be picking up a win and getting some steam underneath him. And then once we can get to it, they want to do Randy Orton versus Baron Corbin, whether that's going to be at SummerSlam or where that's going to be a fucking awesome match. And that's going to be one that I'm going to put my money and my stock into Baron Corbin becoming the champion. Corbin, to me, honestly, is a real big talent. I can honestly tell you that I don't fully really enjoy his matches, but I do enjoy his character. I think that he has a lot to offer to WWE, and I think that hopefully they will start to show a different side of his character, and we'll have to see what that's going to be. But I will say that honestly, Jinder wrestling at this next pay-per-view, Backlash, or whatever the heck it's going to be, is a real big surprise that he is number one contender. People say that he's possibly the worst championship contender of all time. I will honestly tell you that I was not watching wrestling and I was not watching SmackDown. The first time I read that Eddie Guerrero was going to be taking on Brock Lesnar at, I believe it was No Mercy, in San Francisco, where he actually won the WWE Championship, I honestly thought that was a joke. You can remember back to, I think, Brock Lesnar versus Bob Holly. That match actually had some real heat that was built up on the internet because Bob Holly broke his arm in a match against Brock Lesnar. And Bob Holly, ran his mouth on the internet saying things like, that Brock didn't know what he was doing. Brock's hurting guys and he was to go in there and really hurt himself. To me, that was a worthless match. You go back, the pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble, that was main evented by Kurt Angle going up against Mark Henry. That was a bad number one contender in my mind. I didn't believe Mark Henry had a chance to become champion, even though he would 2010, something like that. But I didn't think that was right. So honestly, I think that everybody can tell that with, the network at $10, getting 2 pay-per-views each and every month, other than January, April, and August, we're going to get shows like this. We're going to get stuff that just, it is what it is, and it seems like we're watching SmackDown on a Sunday. So everybody should calm down a little bit. No one's going to delete the network. No one's going to, stop watching wrestling because of the fact we get one match, Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton. What you got to remember, we're going to be getting AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens on that show. That's going to be a good match. That's going to be worth your $10 that month. I guarantee it. So we'll see what's going on, and I'll peace out. See you guys down the road.